Now, I want to talk a little bit about the topic of candidate quality. This is also very important for your expectations because the nature of your opportunity and your company brand actually determines the quality of candidate that you can hire. Let's take opportunity A and opportunity B. Let's say that we don't help only direct to consumer, business to consumer, B2B companies. We help all sorts of different industries and companies and organizations, long sales cycle, short sales cycle. It doesn't really matter to us. So when I use examples, these are not the only type of companies that we serve, but as an example, let's say it's a B2B sales opportunity. And let's say B2B sales opportunity A, you onboard, you get 90 days of training pay, $500 a week for the first 90 days or first 12 weeks, which is $6,000 of training pay over 90 days. And on top of that, the company is providing preset lead opportunities on the B2B sales reps calendar, which means the lead generation aspect of the sales role is taken care of for them, also meaning that it's easier to ramp up from an income perspective because they're producing more quickly in that sales position. So opportunity B, training pay 90 days, lead opportunities given to them by the company. By the way, when I give this example, most of the type of clients that we serve, they don't have these things. They don't have the cash investment or the cash available to invest into training pay and marketing and these kind of things. And if they do, recruiting is just easier for them. But the opportunity B is typically the type of client that we serve, which at face value, just to be honest, is kind of like the more unattractive type of opportunities, commission-based opportunities in the marketplace, which can be resolved through the right recruiting process. And that'll make sense here soon. Opportunity A, right? That's what we're doing. B2B, 90 days of training pay, lead opportunities. If I'm a candidate looking at that opportunity, there's a little bit more security in the ramp up aspect of the sales role. And then also there's lead opportunities provided by the company, which means I'm most likely going to start closing deals quickly and making money quickly. And therefore, from a financial security perspective, that opportunity looks pretty decent. Well, let's compare that to opportunity B. Maybe opportunity B is another B2B company in the same industry, very similar sales cycle, but in that opportunity, there's no training pay, there's no lead opportunities provided by the company, and it's most likely going to take 60 to 90 days to start making decent money for the sales rep. These realities exist in the marketplace. There are differences in opportunities, right? All of you have different sales opportunities. Not all of them are created equal. Some are sexier than others. That is just the reality of the marketplace. And the candidates coming through your recruiting process, they understand this. And you need to understand this as well. Your brand, your online brand, your customer-facing brand, and your employer-facing brand, which most of the clients we serve at the beginning don't have these kind of things because they're small businesses, that along with the quality of your opportunity actually dictates the quality of recruit that you can bring on board. As an example, let's say that I've been used to making a certain amount of income over the last 5 years. Let's say that's hypothetically bare minimum 20K per month. And all of a sudden I'm looking for a new opportunity and I would consider myself a top 10% candidate. What opportunity out of the two examples do you think I'm going to pick? An opportunity A and B that I went through? Well, obviously, including me and probably all of you, you're going to choose opportunity A. Why? Because you got to pay your bills. There's more financial security. The company's investing into the opportunity more. And hopefully this is making sense. I'm going to move on. But my point is the nature of your opportunity and your actual online brand determines the candidate quality that you can bring on board. I want you to look at that and go, okay, well, maybe because what happens for small business owners, to backtrack a little bit, what happens is they go, all I need is some freaking people to come in and work hard and make money, and then our company would grow. And that's kind of how they think about it, right? The small business owner, the entrepreneur, they're typically a salesperson in their past. They're a hustler. They've had sales jobs in the past. They were a 10% producer. They started their business. They sell well. Maybe they don't have much of a sales team yet. And they're like, I just need people like me to come in and produce and freaking make money and bring in revenue to the company. Well, the problem is a lot of the cases, the brand and the nature of the opportunity is attractive as maybe you think it is. And therefore, the most quality people in the marketplace are maybe not going to want to work with you. Okay. The reason I explain all that is because I want to set the tone for this 10-30-60 rule, because this 10-30-60 rule, it kind of illustrates kind of layers of candidate quality in the marketplace. And so you have the top 10%, you have the middle 30%, which I call the average Joes, and then you have the bottom 60% of candidates. Now, the bottom 60% of candidates are people that we want to cycle out of the recruiting process before they get onboarded, although the recruiting process will never be perfect and you will have the bottom 60%ers cycle out of the sales program in the first 1 to 4 weeks. That's part of the game. The 60 that I just went through, these are the people that we want to cycle out of the recruiting process, right? The better that we get at recruiting, the better that we cycle these 60%ers out. And therefore, we're not wasting time with them in our new hire onboarding processes. And again, by the end of the training, you're going to understand what you need to do to automate everything informationally around your new hire training, which is going to be huge. I would say it's equally or even more important than the recruiting side, but you have the bottom 60%, right? 10-30-60 rule. This totals 100. You got the top 10% of producers. You have the middle 30%, which I call the average Joes. And then you have the bottom 60%. Primarily, these are people, again, cycled out of the recruiting process and sometimes in the first 1 to 4 weeks of onboarding into your sales program. Okay. Now, the top 10 percenters, right? If you guys are all, I know it's not everybody, maybe there's some admins here that the owner had you jump on, or maybe there's some recruiters or whatever, but most of you are probably business owners, entrepreneurs, and or sales managers, right? And so most of us on this webinar, we're in this group. We're in the top 10 percenters, but the problem is there's not an infinite amount of these kind of people. There's not an infinite amount. And also the top 10% producers, they know their value. And therefore, even if they're looking for a new opportunity in the marketplace, they're demanding the highest quality opportunities in the marketplace because they know what they actually deserve based on what they've done in the past and their skill sets. Just like that opportunity A and that opportunity B example. Now, you may have a top 10% opportunity, by the way. And if you do, then recruiting top 10 percenters is going to be easier for you. But regardless if you have the best freaking opportunity on planet Earth or if your opportunity sucks, okay, which is okay too, you can improve it over time. Recruiting top 10 percenters consistently over and over and over and over again, at least from our experience, and I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've worked with over 1,500 companies. This is my third company, Sales Recruiting University. We've recruited over 75,000 sales reps since we've been in existence over 6 years. This is all I've been doing, right? And so predictably finding 10% sales reps over and over and over again, especially for the company with the commission-based sales opportunity that maybe is not that attractive yet, it's just not really easy. It's really difficult. And I would say it's really not doable, right? Once you get good at the volume aspect of recruiting and you're good at selling your opportunity, you can get people that are top 10 percenters to say yes because you've sold the vision of your opportunity so well. The culture, the industry, the company story, the plans for growth in the future, the sales model, the career path, all of those things, you can actually sell well in the recruiting process and get some top 10 percenters, but it's not going to be something that's predictable. Okay. Now, when we look at the small businesses that we serve and kind of our niche, although some of our clients have amazing commission-based sales opportunities, most of the companies that we help, they're small businesses and they don't have the sexiest opportunities yet. Maybe it's 1099, door-to-door, solar, roofing, whatever. And reps are needing to self-generate and close their own deals. There's no training pay, or maybe it's remote B2B working from home and reps are required to self-generate all their own leads and set their own appointments and close their own deals. Or maybe it's a decentralized field sales organization with outside sales reps all over the country, but there's no local management to build a relationship. And the owner is building a company decentralized from these different markets. And they're trying to get reps to go out B2B and knock doors and create lead opportunities. These are kind of the opportunities that we typically help. Now, if the opportunity is better, that just means the sales recruiting job for us is easier, but that's just a side note. But in these kind of opportunities where from a candidate's perspective, to go back to that opportunity A and opportunity B example, when the opportunity maybe compared to the rest of the marketplace is not as attractive to most other opportunities, and you got to remember that there's unlimited opportunities for good salespeople, right? And also these top 10 percenters, they're usually happy making good money at another organization. It's far few in between when they're looking for new opportunities, right? And when they are, again, they're demanding the most quality opportunities in the marketplace. The point here is top 10 percenters, hard to predictably recruit into your organization, especially if your commission-based sales opportunities not as attractive. But this middle 30%, which I call the average Joe, you can consistently recruit and retain the average Joe that produces quota and do that over and over and over and over again. And this average Joe topic is really nuancy, but to give you one of the many nuanced examples, let's say that you have a commission-based sales opportunity and you probably don't have a quota, but you're like most of the clients that we onboard into our service. But let's say hypothetically you had a quota, okay? And your quota resulted into $78K in bare minimum income on your commission-based sales opportunity per year, OTE on tracked earnings. Let's say it's $78K per year. And let's say that was $1,500 a week. $78K is the minimum, but probably the upper end of the opportunity is double that, like $150K. An example of an average Joe would be maybe somebody that made 50 to 60, 75, and we're pitching them into an opportunity where they can make a minimum of $78K and up to maybe 150 or 200, along with being a part of a better culture, better industry, a company that's growing, which is going to allow for better career advancement opportunities in their future, and so on and so forth. The typical stuff that's in your recruiting presentation, right? The average Joe, as an example, one of many examples would be somebody that maybe made less income than your opportunity provides, and we're pitching them about a better income opportunity and X, Y, and Z that's going to be better than anything that they've experienced historically, right? Well, that average Joe maybe comes on board, and although on paper they were not perfect, they came on board, they showed up, they did the work during onboarding, they ramped up into the role, they did the sales activities, they started making money, they showed up with a good attitude, they were not flaky, they did the work, and although they just maintained quota, they still showed up and produced, and you liked working with them. Well, if we take that average Joe example, if you were able to do that over and over and over and over and over again, just because they're not top 10 percenters, every single one of them, who freaking cares? If I can predictably get 5 to 10 average Joes in the next 90 days, as an example, and all of them are producing quota, then that's going to be an amazing thing for my business. Okay.